Good morning, friends. We're just coming to sit down, do a little bit of school this morning, and I'm gonna turn on the World Watch News. I've heard it mentioned in passing a lot of times, like World Watch News, and I had never looked into it until this week. I thought, I need to look into this because everyone's talking about it like it's a great resource for homeschooling families. Not sponsored, not gifted or anything, but we've been trying out World Watch News this week. It is a paid subscription, so I just got a free trial. I thought we'll do a free trial here this last week at school and then cancel it over the summer, and then I'll pay for it in the fall. And I just wanted to try it out. I wasn't sure if the news would be relevant to Canadians. If you're watching me and you're a Canadian like myself, we just consume a lot of content that is heavily American. That's just how it is. And so I was okay with that. Of course they are making like American references and stuff, but the news is very worldwide. Like for instance, in this past week, twice they have been talking about the Canadian wildfires. So
and twice they talked about in Asia.
And twice they talked about news in Asia. Yeah, so it's not just American news. It is very relevant to us here in Canada. So anyway, that's how we've been starting our days this week, is by watching this little news segment. It's just 10 minutes of news. If you haven't heard of it, it's a Christian company. And so at the very end, what does the guy say? How does he close it off? Do you guys remember?
Oh no, whatever the news, the purpose of the Lord will stand.
Yes, whatever the news, the purpose of the Lord will stand. So we've been enjoying it. This is new to the kids. They haven't really watched the news before. We don't have cable, and so anyway, 2 minutes into this video, but welcome to this vlog. Good morning. Does everyone want to say good morning? The wrestlers on the floor. Now we're watching a few videos to go along with our Gather Round unit. We just finished learning today about cricket.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Interesting? Okay. I want to see your notebooking pages now.
Okay.
Simeon, do you have your book out? Your notebooking page? Charity, did you do yours already? And here's our class clown. Are you the class clown? Show me, can you show everybody what book you've been reading? What book you were reading this morning? It's on the floor. Right there. We borrowed this from the library yesterday, Hop on Pop, and I don't think Wesley had ever read this book.
Yes, I did.
Hey, you have now. I'm saying before we borrowed it, you had it. And so we sat down yesterday and read Hop on Pop, and Wesley was sitting there this morning saying all the rhyming words. Why are you such a goof this morning? Anyway, I thought for a little boy learning to read, Hop on Pop is the perfect story. Okay, you need to sit down and read, or you need to go outside and play, because these other kids are doing school and you're just a little bit too crazy.
Not too crazy.
Too crazy. On the topic of homeschooling, I want to let you guys know I shared that there is a code for joining Made to Homeschool. There is a code LAUNCH10, and that will give you 10% off an annual premium membership, and that code lasts till the end of June. So if you want to think about it a little bit, just make sure you remember that there is that code. I will link Made to Homeschool down below. I am part of the contributor team for putting out content on this platform. There are workshops and just some really great discussion. It's exciting to see new homeschoolers coming on there, asking questions, great discussions happening. So if you want to join, make sure you join this month so that you can take advantage of those savings. I've gotten a few questions just in this past week or two on my videos on these wildfires that are happening in Canada, specifically in Ontario and Quebec. Well, it's happening out west, it's happening out east, but more local to me here in Ontario and Quebec. And so as of right now, we are safe. We are quite a few hours, I believe, from where any of the fires are taking place. We do have, I wouldn't say smoke in the sky, it's a bit hazy. Like you look up at the sun and it's just really hazy. I know that you guys are getting that in some places in the US too, so you know what I'm talking about, but nothing crazy. Andrew goes outside and he's like, it always smells like campfire. I walk outside beside him and I'm like, I don't smell anything. So I don't notice anything, but right now we're safe. We're a little ways away from where those are happening. Easiest lunch ever. I just sliced some everything bagels, put some Havarti cheese on them and melted in the oven. And sliced up some cucumbers. Why were you making background noise?
It's really loud. Just to be funny.
Just to be funny. Zara's just putting away the breakfast dishes. I've been making a point of having Simeon and Zara do dishes more regularly. Hold on, you know what? I'm gonna slice those in half and put them on your plate. Wesley, he's always eating raw veggies. It's so easy to just have Elijah and Charity do the dishes, and often Simeon will help too, but through the day, the three of them can do the dishes often. But Zara's, you know, Zara's 7, she's able, right? And so she has been drying dishes often for us, and it's good to teach the younger ones. It's easy to forget about the younger ones and give all of your jobs to the older kids, but you know, it takes patience, and I have to teach the younger ones to do these tasks. But Zara and Simeon did the dishes last night for me. They washed and dried, and I was actually quite surprised how efficient they were in doing their task, and very quick and efficient. What did you want to say?
I was 7, I think, when we moved here, and I started drying and washing dishes.
Yeah, Charity told me, hey, when I was 7, I did dishes all the time. And I thought, yep, I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you did. We call that the privilege and responsibility of being the oldest child, or the second to oldest kids. There are privileges when you're the oldest, but there are responsibilities that come with it too. What did you want to say?
I've been living in this house for years.
You have been. Almost. We bought this house in August of 2019.
That's 3.
That's crazy. Do you remember when we moved to this house?
No, but I kind of remember like seeing inside it.
Do you remember our last house before this one?
Well, I don't really, but I kind of remember the door.
The door?
Okay.
What did you want to say?
I remember when we moved into this house.
Do you? Yeah. You were 5.
I also remember Dad changing it up.
You remember all the work we put into it. There's still a lot of work to come, like this kitchen. I am so excited to renovate this kitchen.
Paint the walls.
Maybe, I'm thinking maybe next summer, next fall. Paint the walls. We have painted the walls. There's much more than that needs to be done. Okay, let's start eating lunch. Give me the tightest squeeze you know how to do. Oh my goodness. That is a,
I didn't tighten that, Mom.
Pardon?
I didn't tighten that.
Tighter than that. Okay, show me. Oh, that is such a tight squeeze.
I didn't tighten that thing.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's tight enough. You're gonna hurt me. Okay, listen, you have something in your teeth. Is it from lunch? It's time for you to go for a nap.
Okay.
But Mommy has got all those groceries. All those groceries. Stop making those snorting noises. What are you doing? Mommy's got all these groceries to put away. So you're gonna go upstairs and pick out a book. Elijah's gonna read to you. Elijah, you heard that?
Yes.
Wesley gets to choose, okay? He's gonna pick one book. Why don't you pick one of the library books we got yesterday, and Elijah will read it to you. And then, hey, Elijah's gonna tuck you in and close the curtains. Okay? And I'll see you after.
But if you don't do it, then you can read me Hop on Pop.
Elijah can read you Hop on Pop. Is that what you want to read today?
It is what I need to.
You wanted me to. Pick a book for Elijah to read, and then after nap when you wake up, bring me Hop on Pop and I'll read it to you. I have to sit down this afternoon. I'm just gonna set you guys on a tripod. I have to sit down this afternoon and pay some bills. I feel like I didn't put my tripod very straight. There we go, I think that's better. It's a little bit of a process. I have some bills to pay, a couple appointments to make. Oh, I also, I'm a little bit annoyed about this. I need to, I was gonna say call around. I'm gonna do as much as I can just looking online. I need to find a new internet provider, possibly. I got an email from our current internet provider who we have had for like, oh my goodness, we've probably had it for like at least 10 years. We've had the same internet provider. The price has stayed the same that we've been paying for internet this entire time, I believe. I got an email from them this week saying, this company's closing. We're gonna send all of our clients over to this other company, middle of July, I think it is. And so I called them because you had to call and confirm all your information and stuff. And so not surprisingly, I was like, so what is the cost difference to go to this new company? And it was about $10 more a month. And I was like, okay, I have to call around. I am not committing to this. I need to, maybe I will go back and maybe that is the current cheapest price. But I'm like, I'm gonna call around, which I just can't not do. I can't just accept, okay, $10 more a month. But I'm kind of like, I don't feel like investing the amount of time I have to like call around, look around for a better price either, but I'll spend a little bit of time doing that this afternoon. I also wanted to talk about, the last couple of nights I've been watching the new documentary, Shiny Happy People. I think that's the title of it, Shiny Happy People, on Amazon Prime. It talks about the IBLP and this almost a cult that like the Duggars were in, and a whole bunch of other people were in that program and still are. But just kind of exposing all that was going on and the rules that they had. It was eye-opening to me. I have enjoyed following and watching the Duggars for a long time, and I thought I knew basically what they were following, what their traditions were and stuff, but watching the documentary was eye-opening that there's even so much more to it than I knew about. And I grew up in a strict conservative home as well. I don't remember anything about the IBLP and all of that movement growing up. Here in Canada, we were probably just somewhat removed from it as well, but we grew up like, I only wore skirts and dresses all of growing up. I never wore pants until I left my parents' house. You know, no movie theaters. A lot of these traditions that we had to stick to as well, but nothing like in what they're talking about in this show. And I have such mixed feelings about it because they are, you know, exposing this, and just I think it's important, very important for, you know, people to know that it is dangerous to just follow tradition and follow rules. It is expedient that we are teaching our kids to have a personal relationship with God, not having these rules be, you know, this is the holy life we have to live and this is the ultimate goal. No, a relationship with God is the ultimate goal. And I like that you can pull that message from watching this documentary. It's also kind of hard to watch in how they, as this program that's being put out is a secular program. It's not a Christian program, not a Christian series. And so they paint Christianity and homeschooling in general in just such a bad light. And so that is like, I hate that it portrays every Christian as just legalistic and abusive and just all this horrible stuff, and that all homeschoolers are not academically strong and these kids that are homeschooled are not actually being educated. And anyway, I would be curious if you guys want to discuss this in the comments. Let me know if you've watched it and what your thoughts are. And so I watched one episode last night. I stayed up kind of late and was tempted to watch another, but I was also like, no, like mentally this is enough for me to watch. I'm sure I'll go back and watch the next episode the next couple of days here. But it's a lot of heavy stuff. And like I said, I just have mixed feelings about it. I don't have mixed feelings about the program. It seems like this is a very dangerous, you know, these rules and traditions and opinions that they are teaching as straight from the Bible, when it's not straight from the Bible. These are simply that, they're traditions and their opinions. We stress in our house because we have rules. Andrew and I have rules for our kids that we know are not straight from the Bible. And so we tell our kids, in our house, this is what we're going to do in this instance. This is how we're going to dress. This is how we're going to treat this situation. This is not, God didn't say we have to do it this way, but this is what we've chosen to do. We believe this is what God wants us to do in this instance. But when you leave our house, you can choose. You can talk to God and choose how you want to face and treat this decision. We try to really not get that line mixed, not to blur that line. There are things that God has told us, this is sin if you live this way, but there's also a lot of gray area. And the Bible isn't black and white in every issue. Anyway, I've rambled on, but I'd be curious to know your thoughts if you have watched some of this show on Prime. Finishing today's vlog, Simeon is playing Night Zookeeper. I mentioned that in our last video, this program that the kids have just been, we're just in like a Night Zookeeper kick right now, I guess. Elijah's practicing the piano. I just opened a couple of Old Navy packages we got recently. Wesley and Zara, what are they doing? They're looking online at Calico Critters. Zara has some money and it's burning a hole in her pocket. Charity's making supper. Thank you for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.